be.
Hello and a very warm welcome. Thanks for tuning in to your favorite news destination. You're watching In Your Interest with me, Kabir Naqvi, and on the show tonight, we're diving straight into the heart of a storm that's shaking up politics and piercing the sanctity of our armed forces. Because in a fiery speech ahead of the Bihar elections, goes to vote tomorrow, at least for the first phase, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi claimed that upper caste, which is just 10% of the population, is holding the reins on everything, from jobs to the armed forces and even the country's wealth. He went further, claiming that even the army, our symbol of unity and sacrifice, is under their control, leaving the rest of us sidelined from opportunities that should be for all. Now, his comment, it has ignited a political firestorm, with Defense Minister Rajnath Singh hitting back sharply. He said that Rahul's words were as dangerous and a dangerous bid to stir up anarchy in society. He reminded that the Indian Army knows no religion, no caste. It's a force bound by one unbreakable code, Sainya Dharma, the soldier's duty to the nation above all else. He accused Rahul Gandhi of sowing seeds of division by pushing for reservations in the military, a move that could fracture the very backbone of our defense. And the political war of words, well, let's listen into that first.
90% लोग समाज के अति पिछड़ा दलित आदिवासी से आते हैं। 500 सबसे बड़ी कंपनी की आप लिस्ट निकालिए और इसमें पिछड़ा, अति पिछड़ा, दलित, महादलित, अल्पसंख्यक, आदिवासी को ढूंढ के निकाल दीजिए, आपको कोई नहीं मिलेगा। आपको एक नहीं मिलेगा, सारे के सारे 10% आबादी में से आते हैं। आप जुडिशरी देखिए, वहां भी उनको सब मिलता है, सेना में उनका कंट्रोल है।
सेना के बारे में जाति पात के आधार पर, बहनों भाइयों, मैं समझता हूं कि चर्चा तक नहीं होनी चाहिए। हमारे सेना के जवानों का एक ही धर्म होता है, वह धर्म है सैन्य धर्म, इसके अतिरिक्त और कोई दूसरा धर्म नहीं होता। और जिस तरीके की यह बात बोल रहे हैं मेरे बहनों भाइयों, मैं ये कहना चाहता हूं, यह देश के हित में किसी भी सूरत में नहीं है। और मैं कांग्रेस के दोस्तों से कहना चाहता हूं, कम से कम हमारी सेना को राजनीति में मत घसीटिए।
मेरे भाई ने ऐसा कुछ नहीं कहा जिससे सेना का अपमान हो, ऐसा कुछ नहीं कहा और ना कभी कहेंगे, ठीक है? क्योंकि सबसे ज्यादा जो सेना के लिए अच्छाई चाहते हैं, जो इस देश के भक्त हैं, वो मेरे भाई हैं। वो खड़े होते हैं लोगों के खिलाफ, डरते नहीं है, सच्चाई दिखाते पूरे देश को, इसलिए ये लोग ऐसा करते।
अब देखिए, वो कह रहे हैं कि सेना में 10% लोग राज करते हैं। राहुल गांधी, आप नहीं गए सेना में, वैसे आपका जात क्या है देश की जनता भी जानना चाहती है। एक बार जान ले, क्योंकि आप जात के पोषक हो गए हो। आप हिंदू हैं, मुसलमान हैं, ब्राह्मण हैं, कभी तो कोई गोत्र कहते हैं, तो ये भी अब लोग जानना चाहता है।
देखिए, राहुल गांधी देश का दुश्मन है और देश का दुश्मनों ने राहुल गांधी को प्लान किया हुआ है। जाके जुडिशियरी को वीक करो, आर्मी को वीक करो, जनता का बीच में झगड़ा लगाओ। ये जो 10% वाला बात किया है ना, ये देशद्रोह का बात होता है।
Well, unlike civil services, where quotas shape entry, the Army's officer ranks are built purely on merit. No caste-based reservations, no shortcuts. At the regimental level, it's a smart blend of time-honored traditions and raw talent, all geared towards one goal: keeping our troops battle-ready and effective. This system has served us through wars and peace, fostering bonds that transcend backgrounds. And why does this hit so hard right now? Well, because Bihar isn't just any state. It's a powerhouse for army recruitment, where families across districts pass down the uniform like a sacred heirloom. Here, military pride runs deep, intertwined with caste identities that already fuel every political rally. And with voting starting tomorrow, Rahul's charge isn't abstract. It's a live wire, turning army honor into electoral ammunition and risking a clash between patriotism and political tactic. The big question that we're trying to decode on the show tonight, and an esteemed set of panelists that is with me on the broadcast, is this about equality or pure politics before the Bihar elections? Has the political war over caste reached India's last neutral ground as well? Well, joining us here on the broadcast is Sanjay Rana, political analyst, Major General Rajan Kochar, defense and strategic expert. Very warm welcome to both of you. Many thanks, General, for taking out the time. Professor Badri Narayan Tiwari, author and Vice Chancellor, Tata Institute of Social Sciences, TIS, also with us. Professor Badri, many thanks for taking out the time and speaking to us here. You know what, General? Let me come to you very quickly. First and foremost, we also are going to be joined by the Congress spokesperson, Wing Commander Anuma Acharya. She's also going to be with us, shortly from now. But General, you've served in the institution where caste and religion officially have no place. When such debates, and that's the bottom line of this debate as well, when such debates and discourse spill into politics, how do they affect the morale? How do they affect the public perception of the armed forces? You're a veteran yourself.
Thank you, Kabir. I think it's a very, very important discussion you have brought on your channel. And Rahul Gandhi's mindset, if you actually try to analyze this person, I'll take you back a couple of years when he spoke at the time in 2020 about the Chinese aggression and on the line of control, and he had cast aspersions on the integrity of the Indian Army. And I was one person who came on national TV across party lines. I don't belong to any party or anything like that, but I strongly condemn that statement of Rahul Gandhi. And then he asked that whatever operation the Indian Army has been doing or the Indian Air Force has been doing, he has been public in stating that हमको इसका proof चाहिए. हमको we want some kind of a documentary evidence. Is he gone out of his mind? You are talking about the Indian armed forces of the nation who are the last bastion of this country. As a matter of fact, I am extremely perturbed at this kind of political statements being given in election rallies, because they have a purpose to serve as far as that political party is concerned. Now I talk about the Indian Army as such, or the Indian Armed Forces as such. We don't believe in any kind of caste or religion system. It is purely on the basis of merit. And I would like to tell your viewers that the commander-in-chief of the armed forces today is President Draupadi Murmu, who belongs to the Santhal community, which is the largest scheduled tribes in India. So there is no question here. We are
valid marker, General, valid marker. You know what? Let's bring in Wing Commander Anuma Acharya, Congress spokesperson, who's just joined us. Many thanks for taking out the time, Wing Commander. Wing Commander, we just heard, General Kochar, Rahul Gandhi's statement has triggered outrage. We can question why the outrage, but it has triggered an outrage. Not only for the 10% control claim, but for dragging the army into a political argument. People are saying it's a rhetoric that's been taken out of proportion. But as a veteran yourself, ma'am, and a Congress spokesperson, was this phrasing fair? Because the critics out there, Wing Commander, are saying this was politically reckless coming from Rahul Gandhi.
Good evening to you and your viewers. Rahul Gandhi was simply talking about equal opportunities, and his statement has been taken to a different direction, and which always happens. because last couple of months Rahul Gandhi is exposing actually how our democracy is no more existing because of the Election Commission of India. One example is today. So BJP was looking for a narrative for today, how to counter that, and therefore they have just taken out one statement out of nothing, which Rahul Gandhi was only talking about equal opportunities. Let me tell you, in officers class, let me tell you the reality of it, because I have been serving in the armed forces I have served for 25 years. So let me tell you, if there are private schools for the people who generally go to the army in the officer cadre, then you will see that other people do not have that education standards or equal opportunity. That's what he was mentioning about, and he was not specifically talking about army. He just talked about the corporate and other things. But one more thing, I want you to hear this out. Now I am reading out some names, and they are the top brasses of Indian Army, and you tell me if there is one person who comes from the lower classes. Indian Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi. Then we have Deputy Chief Lieutenant General Rajiv Ghosh, Lieutenant General R. Singh, Lieutenant General Rakesh Kapoor, Northern Air Command,
Wing Commander,
Army Command.
Wing Commander, we get your point, Wing Commander.
I'm reading out all the names because all of them are Sharmas,
we get your point, Wing Commander. We get your point. Just a second, General. Just a second. Wing Commander. We got your point. Many thanks for those opening statements. Let's not take names, ma'am. Ma'am, let's not take names.
No, let's not take names.
Ma'am, let's not take names. Ma'am, Wing Commander, please. Wing Commander, please listen to me once. Wing Commander, let me. Wing Commander, please let me. Let me. General, just hold on. General, just hold on. Please, hold on. Wing Commander, we got your point. Listen, see, let's take it this way. You believe Rahul Gandhi's intent was different. He has been misunderstood. He wasn't questioning the army's integrity, but rather making a broader point on representation and social justice. But Wing Commander, I'm asking you this. Even if the intent was different, should political leaders, inclusive of Rahul Gandhi, especially from a party that has governed India for decades now, refrain from invoking the armed forces in electoral rhetoric? That's one question that I'm asking. I also do want to know at the same point, can India ever have a conversation on this? But on that particular front, when you say Rahul Gandhi has been misunderstood, his intent was different, should he be dragging the army in this?
I'm not saying that. Sorry, I'm not saying that. He has not been misunderstood. BJP was looking for a narrative and agenda to counter him because of today's hydrogen bomb. It is nothing related to Rahul Gandhi was misunderstood or anything. He did not speak any derogatory thing against army. That's very clear. When our two of the chiefs are Brahmins, when our all the other GOCCs are from upper caste, all of them, not even a single, if you can single out one. So therefore, I am telling you, it was just a narrative of Bharatiya Janata Party.
Okay. We lost that connection a little bit. General, do you want to come in, and then I'll go across to Mr. Rana and Professor Badri?
I want to remind this Wing Commander that the selection in the armed forces is purely on merit. It has got nothing to do with the caste and the religion. If an officer has been promoted right from colonel to brigadier to major general to lieutenant general, it is totally on his merit. It has got nothing to do with the caste. So she is casting aspersions on the senior leadership of the
General. I have a question for you, General Kochhar. And please reprimand me if you think I'm crossing the line here, okay? There are historical regimental traditions based on community identities. You've got the Rajput, the Jat, and the Sikh regiments as well. How do we reconcile that particular legacy with the modern idea of a caste-blind army, which we have in place, but regimental traditions based on community identities, Rajput, Jat, Sikh. I mean, this is the question that I have sort of come up with whilst reading what people were talking about on social media. So, have I crossed the line in asking that question, number one, so that we get a better understanding on that? And what do you make of that question? No, Wing Commander will come back to you. Wing Commander will come back to you. There are other people also on the panel.
Definitely not.
General should not interfere when I'm talking. Doesn't he understand this? He doesn't know
the question has been asked to me, my dear lady. I think.
General, please answer the question.
Yeah, I'm answering. You can request her to lower her decibels for the time being. She'll also get an opportunity to speak.
Okay. Wait, hold on. Just a second, General. Just a second. Wing Commander, can you hear us in the studio? Wing Commander, can you hear us? Wing Commander, he just tried to make a point. I promise you, nobody's going to cut you. short. Okay, next time, please let the general speak. Thank you.
Okay, now I'll just tell you that you talked about Jat regiment, you talked about Sikh regiment, and you talked about the Rajput regiment. These are martial races. And if you go back in history and time, and if you go back to our civilizational history, you will find that these are the races who have protected our country, who have a legacy of sending their young sons and daughters into the armed forces. And that is why this rich cultural heritage which borns out of the martial races. You see, not everybody is a martial race, and when we talk about Jat, Sikhlai and Sikh regiments, we are getting into the past history, which actually gives a lot of strength and a lot of courage to a regiment to fight a battle. That is why you see the adversary Pakistan. They have a Sindh regiment, they have a Baluch regiment, they have regiments on the lines of this ethnicity, and it is totally.
So it's still caste blind. It's more about historical antecedent. It's about history. It's about place of origin and birth. Many thanks for answering that question. And I hope I didn't, cross that line. Let me introduce Professor Badri, political commentator also on the broadcast, Professor Badri Narayan Tiwari. Professor Badri, Rahul Gandhi's comment, 10% control, the country's power, including the army, may be politically charged, but is there a sociological truth behind it about structural underrepresentation? How are you looking at these developments away from the political brinkmanship?
See, I'll mix whatever the debate is going on. See, politics raise various kinds of issue, but I think we should think that there are some spheres which we should not bring in the politics, like army, the defense issues. These are the national security issues, and we should not bring it in the politics in this way. First thing is this. Second thing is that as we know, we from outside, we know that army is most modern organization in the country, most modern organizations. And secondly, the entire the way the politics discuss about the army, they don't know the inside. There may be 1 or 2 person may be telling from the insides, but the truth which is within the army system. And as rightly Professor General Sahab has suggested, that is based on merit. And merit, anyone can go. But few communities will take some time to go to that level, because they slowly community comes forward, they become empowered, then they produce their leader, produce their intellectuals, produce the IAS, produce the army man among the community. So it's a historical process, and it takes time. It has nothing to do with these kinds of inequality or exclusion. It's a historical process. Through that, community enters in that domain and acquire the spaces. So politicians should leave this space. And there are some sacred space.
We heard you loud and clear, Professor. But Professor, from a pedagogical and from an academic point of view, can a discussion on social justice be held responsibly in our country without it sounding like an attack on the army, especially given how deeply people equate uniform with, sanctity and unity? Can a discussion on this really happen? I remember General, Kochhar, he started his first and initial answer by saying that this is an important discussion to take up. But I see outside a lot of people that think this is too sensitive for them to even touch upon.
I already said that there is a capacity to aspire, capacity to acquire, and then the politics of representation is the process. The few communities, due to historical regions, acquire the capacity to aspire earlier than others. But slowly others are also entering in that. Like in politics, you see the various communities which were not important in the politics, now they are very important in the politics. So it's a process. One should not be make hue and cry that this is inequality, this is exclusion. It's a process through that things evolve and emerge, and we should wait and believe on the process of social change, which is happening in India slowly, and we are moving forward day by day.
Okay. Sanjay Rana, he's been patiently waiting with us. Many thanks for that, Mr. Rana, political analyst. Mr. Rana, politically speaking, did Rahul Gandhi's remark backfire? I'm asking you this because whilst he wanted to project concern for backward representation, it's the BJP that's turned it around into a question of patriotism and respect for the armed forces. And Bihar assembly elections, I mean, Bihar first phase of voting happens tomorrow, where soldiering and caste both run deep. So how will this impact the Bihar polls? And has this politically backfired for Rahul Gandhi?
Kabir, good evening.
And I'm again mentioning this. Good evening to you, sir. I'm again mentioning this because Wing Commander, Anumacharya said that this is on a day where he's dropped the H files and the BJP has nothing else to counter with, him back with.
Good evening, Kabir. Good evening to your fellow panelists. I have seen the first exam, the person or the student who is going to appear the exam in class 12th examination tomorrow, and is talking about 10th subject. So I have not seen this kind of a student ever in my life. I'm coming to Rahul Gandhi point. I think Rahul Gandhi is going under moral bankruptcy. When we talk about the armed forces, obviously armed forces are above everything. It's above caste, greed, and class. And when we talk about equality and everything, then where Nehru, what exactly happened in 1953? Why he was not implemented? Nehru was not implemented. Kaka Kelkar Commission report. Why is not implemented in 1955? Why Indira Gandhi not implemented Mandal Commission in 1980 and Mr. Rajiv Gandhi in 1990? Obviously, we need to understand when you talk about the caste, when you talk about religion, army and any armed forces above the caste and the religion. The one caste and one religion for the armed forces is Indian first. Obviously, caste is secondary and religion is third. If you look at the constitution, obviously in the constitution is not mentioned any reservation for the caste in armed forces, and there's no caste, no religion. It's absolutely on the basis of merit, and whosoever is going to be able to deliver the result, who's going to get the position whatever he want to deserve. Number 3, when we talk about the equality, does equality is happening in Telangana? Does equality is happening in Karnataka and Himachal Pradesh? Tell me the name of any backward Dalit, cabinet secretary in 3 states. Tell me the name of chief ministers, those who are there in 3 states. Why he is not implementing his own?
Fair enough. Karnataka, Telangana could be spearheading some of those changes. That is a credible point.
I'm coming to the third point. I have serious objection. When you're pronouncing a name of wing commander, she's not a wing commander, she's a retired wing commander, number 1. She's not serving army. Okay?
No, sir. Let's not go there, sir. Let's not go there, sir.
Retired.
There are a lot of things.
She's retired. I know everything. She's retired.
The rank never retires, sir. The rank never retires. That's what I've learned in this country. The rank never retires, the person retires. Okay, I'm going to come to you, Wing Commander. Wing Commander, I'm going to come to you. I'll give you time to
name her wing commander. You should use the retired wing commander. And look at the frustration of this lady. Look at the frustration of
Mr. Rana, you're usurping. Mr. Rana, you're taking away. You're digressing from the point. Let me ask the question, guys. I just want Mr. Rana on the screen, please. Can we have Mr. Rana on the screen? Mr. Rana, my final question before I move on. Mr. Rana, this is what the critics of the BJP are saying at this point in time. They're saying the BJP is using nationalism to shield itself from a legitimate debate on representation. How do you counter that? And then I will go across to Wing Commander. And let's make that very clear, sir. Wing Commander, the rank never retires. It's always General Kocher. It's always going to be Wing Commander.
He's a politician. General Kocher is not politician. He's not doing politics. There's a difference between the politician.
That's okay, sir. That's okay. People can take their retirement and do whatever. It's okay. The rank never retires. General Kocher can come and he can settle the debate on that when we go to him again.
Captain General Kocher can write because he's not doing any politics.
Oh, okay. Anyway, that's not the point. Yeah.
Forget about that thing. Coming to the point.
No,
first of all, when we talk, why
General
showing frustration, ma'am? You're looking so frustrated. Do not have a point to counter. When we talk about the nationalism,
guys, can we please have Mr. Rana on it?
The person has to appear for examination tomorrow for the graduation.
Please. I don't want to waste my viewers' time, guys. Gentlemen,
raise the bar. And why people are not accepting him? None of the political parties.
Mr. Rana, you have 30 seconds. Mr. Rana, you have 30 seconds. Is BJP using nationalism as a shield from a legitimate debate on representation? Final 30 seconds,
please give me a very simple answer. Rahul Gandhi is more intelligent than Baba Sahib Ambedkar. Rahul Gandhi is more intelligent than Mr. Nehru. Rahul Gandhi is more intelligent the people, those who had designed the constitution and construct the constitution. No, if he's not, then why he's talking about? It's not nationalism. Why you are bringing politics into army into politics?
Okay.
You want to do the politics, you can do it. And second thing, when he's asking about the caste, where is his caste? He has to tell his caste first, and he has to tell which religion he belongs to. He's asking everyone share the caste, but he's not telling what is his caste. He's not a Dattatreya Guru Brahman. He's not at all a Brahman. So understand what is required, what is politics, what is not, and we need to have a thin line between the politics and the armed forces. Armed forces is our pride. We feel pride looking at the armed forces. And
no, absolutely. That's not going down, Mr. Rana. Let me make it very clear. The idea of this show is to not take away from the sheen of the army, our armed forces. They're credible armed forces. We've seen their valor in Operation Sindoor very recently as well. And that is going to stay. This one show can't do anything about the valor of our armed forces. It's going to stick around. They're the pride of the nation. Let's not make any bones about that. Wing Commander, let me come back to you next. You can respond to whoever you want to respond to now. Wing Commander, my only request to you is not to use, words like shut up. It doesn't look nice on, national television. That's all I'm saying right now, Wing Commander. My question to you, Wing Commander, my question to you.
Do not cause any representative to insult that person. You have, in your show, you have allowed that guy to insult me. A morally bankrupt, so-called political analyst doesn't have any right to comment on my constitutional rights. You must understand this once for all. And I must tell you, this is nobody's business, because General V.K. Singh writes, General V.K. Singh, Colonel Rajyavardhan Singh Rathod has not parted with his rank because he is in politics. So somebody commenting like uneducated person is not acceptable to me. The other thing, can you make him shut up now?
Okay, fine. We'll do that.
Frustration on your face, the kind of language you're using.
Guys,
you need to understand.
Peace here. Can we just have Wing Commander with us?
We should use on TV debates. If you don't know it, do not come to TV debates.
You know what? I'll tell you what, Wing Commander, it's you. It's only you. The cameras are on you. My humble request is, please don't use words like shut up. Ma'am, listen to me. Ma'am, Wing Commander, listen to me. Firstly and foremost, I need to clarify and put this on record as well. I did not allow him to insult you, ma'am. That wasn't the deal here. That wasn't the intent. I did not want to do that. ma'am. But it's not something that News9 has allowed. Everybody's here to have a free say.
That is below the belt. You can't call an armed forces officer to part with their rank. You know that very well.
I agree. And I clarified that on air, ma'am. I clarified that on air.
Let me come to the point.
Yeah.
Let me come to the point.
Yeah.
The point is, somebody is talking about martial races. Yes. But that was a colonial mindset. Why we have to stick to that? Only those martial races. And why, if you don't want to politicize Indian armed forces, then why Prime Minister every time seen around doing photo op in our kind of dresses, sometimes in dangri, sometimes in battle uniform? Why he is politicizing the armed forces? He has no business with the armed forces other than he is the Prime Minister of India, and he will take a political decision whenever we are in a state of war. Otherwise, it's the President of India who is our Supreme Commander. So why Prime Minister always politicizes that? And last thing is, questioning a soldier's courage is anti-national. But here, Rahul Gandhi is talking about equal opportunities for others. Everybody wants to serve our armed forces. Every caste, every religion, everybody wants to be a part of Indian armed forces, and everybody is a patriotic. So army fully stands for India first. There is no casteism in armed forces, but at the same time, some caste, because of they don't have equal opportunities, they are not able to reach to those positions. And as I have told you, all the three armed forces,
so-called wing commander,
everybody
can
is
you ask the caste of wing commander, so-called wing commander who's sitting on TV debate and asking the caste of others?
Okay, you know what? Let's have General Kocher on the screen. General Kocher, we completely run out of time here. Mr. Rana and Wing Commander, many thanks for that debate on air. The idea of In Your Interest is not to have these fiery debates, but to really bring forth and put forth a nice idea. General Kocher would tell you, because he's here all the time. General Kocher, final word to you. Final 30 seconds. What do you make? And let's conclude this debate now.
I'll just give you 30 seconds.
Yeah.
when you lead men into battle, you need to have very competent leaders who are respected by your men and who have the necessary valor and courage to lead your men into battle. And that purely comes out of your own self, your own merit. And that is why you would have seen there is no reservation in the armed forces. And I will take you back a couple of years when Jagjeevan Ram was the defense minister.
Yeah.
He also raised this issue that
Ramdas Athawale, sir. Ramdas Athawale, Jagjeevan Ram.
And it was straight away turned down, because we in the Indian Army, we are leading our men into a battle. We are responsible for the safety of our men.
Yep.
We are responsible for the lives of our men. We can't be allowed to have incompetent leaders who have come by the reservation system to start leading our men. So you have to understand this in this context, and the wing commander also should understand.
Why is not
She may belong to a particular party today, but she is a soldier.
I've completely run out of time here. The PCR is screaming in my ear to shut the show down. There's some commercial commitments, but I'll tell you what. Many thanks, Wing Commander. Mr. Rana, many thanks for taking out the time. General Koshar, always a pleasure to have you with us. Professor Badri, I know little left out in that particular segment, a lot of brinkmanship and one-upmanship that we saw over here. But in a nation where the uniform stands above every fault line, invoking caste and community within it isn't just risky, it's divisive. The fight for representation must never come at the cost of the one institution that unites 1.4 billion, the Indian Army. And at the heart of this debate lies a question bigger than politics. Can a democracy like ours discuss representation without